Hi, Aquarius. It's Angela. We are going to do your current reading. I would say mid-August, but I'm a little bit late. But your current energy for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And as I always say, anyone else who feels drawn to this video, it's for you as well. This is soul guidance. It's not predictive or anything determining any action to take. This is within you. These are energies within you that you can highlight and transform and make shifts with if you choose, right? We're going to start with an oracle card from this deck, Earth Magic. And for you, Aquarius, the card I pulled is Dragonfly, Emergence. I like this. Two things came to me when I pulled this for you. One was there's a group of you, a set of you that possibly has been isolated, like either physically or energetically, pulled away, tucked in, sort of, in your own space for a little time. And it may be time now to emerge from that, to come out of that isolation. And then I got for a group, for some of you, I got that same thing may be going on, that there's some isolation going on, but it's actually a level of you or an aspect of yourself that you've tucked away and kept hidden from yourself. I'm not sure if it makes sense at all for you guys, but I'm feeling that there's some of you, this is all internal. It's all within you. Maybe this is, I don't know, maybe you secretly wanted to always be an opera singer. I don't know. And you kept that away. You kept that hidden. You kept it isolated. And maybe now is the time to just start singing in the shower. I keep these instances and these examples light just because it's fun. And because, we don't want to get too heavy with some of these energies, because it's already heavy enough being a human being on this planet in this day and age. So let's just, we can keep it light, but there are definite guidances to move us through some of these energies. And for you, there is something that is ready to come forth, whatever that is. If it's an aspect of you, if it's a hidden skill, a hidden desire that you have, or if it's you physically having been, detached or isolated or in solitude, and now it's time to emerge from that. But there's some aspect of you that's ready to come out and play. Okay, so let's see the guidance here, what that is for you guys. All right, Aquarius, your starting point is here, and then we go inner energies that support that vibration, and then your external, your real world, how it kind of manifests in your day-to-day life. Then we have this card. It's the key to moving forward. It's the key to transforming this to a higher level of understanding. And then up here, we have that higher level of understanding and kind of what to do with it from there. Okay, Aquarius, your starting point is courage. Now look at that, how the emergence card, the starting point, as it pertains to that, is literally blossoming, right? Finding a way to show up, to, align with your desires so that the growth occurs, right? We talk about this card where deep down in those boulders is a little seed, and it's got a hard shell, and it's covered and it's protected. It never really has to worry about much. It could stay that way for the rest of its existence if it wanted. But something in it is guided, is sort of, drawn toward the elements that show up with it. And that's like the little dripping water that comes down there, that seeps through the cracks, the sunlight that shines down there, and slowly that hard covered shelled seed transforms into something that it never really even imagined it could be. This reminds me too of the butterfly transformation. The chrysalis, the caterpillar in the cocoon, doesn't really realize what it's going to become. It just naturally goes, wraps itself up, like the little seed goes down into the dark, and then allows for, the evolution to take place. With the willingness, though, this is what the courage to me means. It's the willingness to transform. Okay. Internally, the card that supports this courage card is isolation. Oh my gosh. So this is an internal card. So this still could be that some of you have been literally in isolation, like physically cooped up, but I really feel it goes deeper than that. I feel that for many of you, there is an aspect of yourself that you've kept down. You've kept quiet, like that little seed way down in the boulder. You've just been keeping it there. And it really is time to allow that to transform, to emerge. I feel like it's time for a good handful of you. So really your starting point cards are just calling awareness to that. There is an aspect of me, there is a facet of my inner being that has not shown up or has not chosen, to emerge. And I feel like it's kind of time for some of you, whatever that is. I'm not quite sure what it is, but right? And in your external world, so the realization of this, of knowing, okay, this has been lying dormant far too long. It is time to transform it. I'm willing to let that sunlight in. I'm willing to let that water soften my hard shell and find a way to transform this. It does not have to happen overnight. It does not even have to happen, in a week or a month, but it's the intention that we're talking about here, to be willing to transform it. Okay. And in your outside world, I'm laughing because what that creates is your willingness to share of yourself. You emerge and you guide others, or you emerge and you guide yourself by just, being more outspoken, being more of yourself. She's got the candle, it's lighting her way. She's sharing and giving and open. Look at the rainbow surrounding her. She's giving of herself from the soul and the heart. So I love this. So for you guys, I would love to hear if you want to put in the comments what this is for you, because it's going to be different for everyone. But I know that there's, this reading didn't come out by accident. There are some of you that have held back in ways, and it's ready. You feel like it's time to let it out, to go ahead and share, to emerge, right? And stop holding back, cut this isolation. Another thing about this isolation card, this is a mental energy. This is kind of saying, I want to just stay severed from certain realities, right? But the one thing that's going to help transform this and melt the ice are the tears, is the emotion, is the showing up as your truest self, being honest about whatever this is, to allow it to emerge. Okay, so now we're going to find out what is our next, what is the key to getting to our next level? And that's this card here. And it's another mental energy, but it's rebirth. So I like this because this indicates that every one of us, and repeatedly over and over in life, we go through phases, right? We go through a phase where we're sort of complacent. The camel kind of represents that sort of 3D living, I eat, I sleep, and I go to work, right? Whatever, you get complacent, you just get into a routine. Then something sparks in you. Something kind of goes, hey, wait a minute, that routine, that's not enough. I need more. And so you start to speak up and you roar like the lion, right? From that, phase one, phase two, because you can't like speak up and roar and scream forever, right? You find you find what it is that wants to emerge and be born from it, whatever, from the complacency and from this, I need to move forward. and then it happens naturally. And then you're at a starting point again. Then you're the child, then you're the beginner, then you're learning once again. But emergence, I mean, there's so many visual indicators to these cards that are saying it is time, whatever this is. And for some of you, this could be a very simple sort of sort of undeclared or just a very subtle shift that you want to make. It doesn't have to be this big momentous, I'm emerging, here I come. This could be just, like I said, maybe you used to love to learn by reading, and now you don't really have time. You don't read that much. You don't do it, and you've kind of let that go, but you love it because that's your favorite way to learn and grow and, discover new worlds, even if, if you're reading fiction or self-help or history or whatever. Maybe that used to help, help you feel most aligned when you were reading, and now you don't have time and you don't read anymore. Maybe that's it. That's what's been in isolation, right? Your connection with the written word. And so you start to slowly, I'll read this book, I'll read this comic book first or whatever. You start out light, and then you start to really get momentum with that. And then your full self, comes through. That, that's more of a subtle, a simple, a very sort of non-threatening thing that's emerging from you. But for some of you too, there could be a part of you that you've held firm, that you've held in, thinking that if I let this out, maybe that would change the course of things, or maybe this is like within a relationship. If I let this out and if I express this out, that could, damage our connection, or that could be, make things more tenuous. But yeah, it's like, why hold back? There really isn't a reason. And I really think it's time to let some of that stuff trickle out and start to come through, whatever it is for you. Okay, so we had that key to moving forward card was rebirth. So this is just an awareness that I can start over. I can let this out of the cage and start with square one, and I will be fine, because then there's more to discover and there's more to enjoy and there's more, to evolve from. Okay, then we land here at these cards, and these are your next level of understanding the whole situation as it pertains to emergence, right? And I got abundance and experiencing and beyond illusion. Oh, another transformative card. So yeah, I think once you start to tune in to your willingness to shift it, whatever that was held in, that was submerged, and you want to allow it to emerge, whatever that was, it's just creating a willingness within you to shift it. And knowing that, even if it starts to feel like, oh, this is new, this is new for me, and I don't know if I can sustain it, that's okay. You keep moving. Then you start focusing, you move into your sort of gratitude, prosperity mindset, where you focus on those things that are going well, right? Always. And this practice down here of fine-tuning what's been hidden and allowing it to come out and play creates a more abundant experience. It creates a more fruitful, rich life. Okay. And when I talk about abundance, it's not literal all the time, since these are soul readings. This isn't exactly like financial abundance or, amassing a whole bunch of friends and I'm abundant in things, it's more of your attitude and your perspective on how your life is and is becoming, right? And at any given time, we can find abundance in our lives, even if it doesn't feel that way all the time. So by going through this process and having the willingness to let all of who you are emerge and show up, and you know, guide your experience, it creates another level of fulfillment, really. The underneath the abundance card, this experiencing card is really calling for a moment-to-moment awareness, just a real tender, tuned in, appreciative vibration. Like this woman with the tree, she's moving through, you know, the landscape, and pauses to spend time with the tree, and she just really engages with the tree, instead of just, oh, there's a tree, great. It's, you know, the tree actually is welcoming her into its branches, into its arms, and you know, sort of enveloping her in its energy. So the tree kind of will represent your life, or the happenings in your life, and a certain interaction one day, or another interaction another day, and to really, you know, encourage you to be fully in it, to just fully experience it for what it is. Not try to shift it, not try to change it, not wish for something different, but just be in what it is. And that is because that's an internal energy supporting this abundance. Like we're saying, when you reach this next level of awareness, focus on the abundance, you know, move toward that more, be appreciative of what you have. And within you, you're also doing that. So there's a like kind of a double layer of this appreciation for your life and the path it's taken, and for where you are now as a result of that, and then for where you aspire to be. So it's really just there's just such a fullness to that energy that I'm feeling. And then the final card is Beyond Illusion, which is another transformative. Remember, we talked earlier about the caterpillar and the butterfly. And this is kind of reminding us that, okay, I do a certain thing for a living. I go to work, and I have this home, and I have this car, and I have these children, and I have all my life is set up in this way. But there's so much more, right? There's so much more going on than that. And that pertains to your inner alignment, your inner connection, the depth to which you stay rooted in yourself, and then also the expansion that's waiting, and the expansion, the connection beyond in the universe that really that is unseen but felt and known. And you know, connection to spirit, connection to one another across the planet, all living beings, that whole experience is kind of, you know, elusive to us at times, right? But this is just a reminder that as we emerge, like the butterfly, like the dragonfly, as we emerge, we're part of a much bigger shift, right? So just by you tapping into cleaning up, uncovering some of those hidden spaces, and letting them out, and emerging and showing up as your full, wonderful, giving, sharing self, that's just putting that energy out there. That's where change starts, right? If we think, oh, the world, it's this and that, and it's so hard, make a change. The logistics and the things that are happening will always be there, even if it's negative stuff, always going to be there, because we're here to evolve beyond it. We're here to gain knowledge, learn from it, and then expand our own experience. And by expanding our experience, that spills out onto others, and others start to catch on. Then you start to create a community of people who are expanding their experience, right? And soon that just keeps unfolding and going out. So this is a huge energy to end your reading with. But really, like we said, with this emergence vibration, it starts within you. It starts like that little seed that's way down in there. And that's your work, right? And then once you complete your work, and you can enjoy the fruits of that, then others can also follow suit. All right. I love it. Thank you guys so much for being here. And it helps a lot if you do the like and the share and all those things, comment, whatever you could do with my channel. And just for now, I'll see you in September. I'll be more on time, I promise, with the September readings. And until then, I love you guys.